Yo, what's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be a little different. I'm going to be doing a little guide on how to PK. Um, Honestly, I'm going to ramble on a little bit here, so I'm going to leave like a timestamp as to when the actual guide starts, so you can just skip all this bullshit. But basically, what I'm going to be covering is switches and eating, momentum, conditioning, and predictability. Those I find the most important things that you should know when you're PKing. And honestly, nowadays, and now that we're in 2021, like seeing the wilderness how it is, how dead it is, it's really sad, man. Like back in the day, RuneScape was thriving with PKing. See all these YouTubers, everybody was just out doing it, and now it's kind of like frowned upon, and all the PVMers like they hate it. And I really think to the PVMers, you guys really should learn how to PK, not only to better help yourselves when you're out in the wilderness because you're always complaining when you guys die, but honestly, it's fun to take a break from PVMing and do something different, you know? I guess you could say the same thing vice versa to us, PKers. We should try PVMing more. But, anyways, I'm going to be going over switches. And so to start out with switches, I'm not going to go too much into gear because I feel like you guys can find that out on yourselves. As far as the switches go, there's your top switching, which that's what I am. I'm a top switcher. And then you have people that are bottom switchers, which they would do something like this. And yeah, I guess something like this, because in the barrage you go like a three-way, and then you could do that, and you could click barrage instantly. And then also, depending on the gear, some people like doing this just because it's pretty easy, so you don't misclick. But I'm not used to this shit. Like this is this feels weird. But these are the type of switches that you could look into and find what's most comfortable for you. Because for me, I'm already used to PKing, having my gear on the top of the inventory. That's just what I'm used to. Alright, so before I begin with the guide, I would like to say that you will come across different variety of PKers. You're going to find people that are really good. You're going to find people that are really shit. It all really depends. That's the wilderness. It's random. Sometimes you might find the best, which the best of the best. If you don't know who he is, 1013. That's why I have that guy in the top. Uh, it really just depends. So with that being said, you guys need to figure out who you're going against. That way you can have a rough idea as to switch accordingly, and to realize that a normal AGS Gmaul is not going to work on this type of opponent because he's already 200 IQ and he already knows what he already knows what you're going to do. So that's when you have to take that into consideration. Alright, now we're going to be going on to predictability. So in this next clip, I'm going to show you guys, this guy was pretty predictable in my head because I saw him just standing there after he took damage. And then maybe 2-3 ticks later, he takes a potion, which I know that's not normal because as soon as you take damage, you normally eat. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do to him. So as you guys saw in the clip, I ended up anti-ing him only because he took that long to, he was just basically standing there for no reason. So I knew that that had to be the only reason why you would try and go in for the spec. Alright, I'm going to show you guys one more clip of predictability. And basically this is another anti, except the only reason is that I failed completely. If anything, I was the one that ended up getting chanced because I executed it poorly. But basically, what you need to understand is, just like everyone else, me included, we like to, when we see a big XP drop, we like to go in for an AGS or spec, whatever. That's being predictable. And so I saw that I got a big XP drop, so I was thinking, you know what, let me go in for the spec. And then what was the cherry on top was seeing that I got hit, that I got damaged by the barrage, because then I knew for sure that he was going to go in for the spec, which means all I had to do was pray melee, switch to my AGS, spec him out, and it would have been an easy kill. But obviously I fucked it up. You guys are going to see that. Alright, so in my opinion, and this guy that I was facing, I'd say he's a high yellow, possibly even orange. I know this is a fucking weird analogy, but this is just what I use in the back of my head. So you can take into consideration what you want to do. But so I'm gonna press play. I'm gonna go for a normal AGS right here. But here's where he gets faked right here. That was an easy chance. It was pretty predictable in that moment. That should not be happening. And that gives you a basic understanding of predictability in terms of lower, I guess, easier opponents. Yeah, is what you could say, easier. Alright, so I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit about momentum. But basically what momentum is when someone is afraid that they're going to get specced out and they constantly pray melee. You're going to see in this example clip of me, I was the one that was paranoid, and this guy was taking full advantage of it, and you're going to see how much damage he does. As you guys saw in the video, I basically got fucked because I was panicking on my clicks. The guy was doing a lot of damage. I couldn't stop the bleeding. And overall, that guy was a better PKer than I was. And so he was able to utilize his clicks and his switches and me being paranoid. And he used it to full advantage, that's really what you're supposed to be doing in these types of situations. Alright, now conditioning is one of my favorite parts of PKing because you get people... you get to do crazy things to people that they won't be expecting because you've already conditioned them or conditioned their mind into thinking that you won't do it. And so in this clip, you're going to see in like the first 10-15 seconds what I do with my AGS. I switch back to the crossbow and then back into the AGS. So you'll see that right here. Alright, as you guys saw in that clip, basically me just doing an extra bolt to him conditioned his mind into thinking that I was going to do a third bolt, and then that's when he used that technique against him, you know? Alright, so now we're going to be going back to the PKO meter that I used for my analogy, and this guy, he's not your average PKer. He's pretty good. I'd say, honestly, he's at my level, maybe a little better. I don't really know. But I do know that a normal AGS Gmaul is not going to kill him, so I have to condition him a lot more than a usual opponent. So you're going to see in this clip exactly what I do to condition him. It's not just bolting repeatedly over, it's also getting close to them, putting your smite on, that sort of thing that basically conditions them. Alright, so now that I'm editing this video, I realized that I mentioned I was going to talk to you guys about switching and eating. And to tell you the truth, that's honestly stuff you need to learn from experience. Right now, I'm perfectly fine with having 2 anglers as a backup in case I get damaged a lot. I can just double eat right there. But since you guys are most likely going to be starting out, you probably want to take maybe like 6 brews and a lot of double eats, and then you're gonna have to change your restores accordingly. So in case you didn't know, the ratio for restores and brew is 3 brews, 1 restore. You could probably get away if you're good, maybe 4 to 1, but that's not really recommended. Anyways, as far as switching goes, like, you might see some PKers in the bank, they're just randomly switching like that, like all the time. You always see a PKer just doing this. To tell you the truth, that's kind of like my practice right there. If you ever see me doing that, you ever see somebody else doing that, just chilling in the bank, and this is literally all they're doing for like no apparent reason. It's kind of to warm up the clicks, you know. If you don't like that, obviously you can go to LMS. LMS is, well, that's free switches right there. But the problem that I find with LMS is that it's always toxic. You always find the people deeding, hugging the trees. It's just not a realistic area for Pking. It's just, to me, I find that fake. A more realistic way that I've always done before LMS even came out is just going out into the wilderness and basically getting fucked over by PKers over and over and over until I started getting the hang of it. Obviously, you don't want to take as much risk. Maybe don't even take Enchanted or Mystic. Don't take D boots. Take climbing boots. Take rune gloves. Maybe take a Zami book. Fucking rune kite. Just like downgrade your gear, because honestly, this is a learning curve. You're not gonna learn this overnight. The only thing I can tell you is that if you do practice enough every single day and you give it your all, you will become a decent PKer. Um, Honestly, I think this video that I did was complete shit. But I've been wanting to release something like this for a very long time, just to give you guys a little understanding of my mind when I PK. You guys may not like this, that's completely fine. But if you do, for some reason, end up liking it, maybe this is some extra knowledge you didn't know, I do appreciate it if you guys give it a like, comment, subscribe. You guys know what to do. And yeah, I'll catch you later, guys. Peace.